Hello, I'm Kads, and welcome to today's video. So we're back well before I thought we would be to pull some more shards because Plarian surprised us with the sacred pogo that I've been waiting for the past month or so. Obviously, I knew it was going to be happening sometime soon, potentially sometime this month, but I was not ready for it to be today, and more specifically during CVC. But nonetheless, here we are. We've got the sacred pogo pull one get one, as I like to call it, event, and of course we are going to be partaking in this. So let's just jump straight into the portal and talk about the shard count on my account at the moment. So 619 on the ancients, 222 on the voids, 47 on the primals, and then 46 on the sacreds, which of course we'll be dipping into today. Now, since this pogo is midweek, there is no summon rush or champion chase to go alongside it. So we're only going all in for the sake of getting 2 legendaries for the price of 1. And of course, we're taking advantage of my Mercy, which I can pop up on the screen here. So you can see here, we are already 4 sacreds into Mercy, which does not guarantee that the next 1 or 2 or 5 will have a legendary behind it, of course, but the odds will increase with every subsequent shard, meaning that within like 10 or so, 10 would be like relatively bad RNG, so to speak. Within the next 10, we should be able to get our double legendary proc. If you would like a copy of this Mercy tracker for you to manually track your own Mercy, it will be linked in the description box down below, so check that out if that tickles your fancy. Now, interestingly enough, I kind of had a feels whaleman moment, because looking at the offerings from the progressive chance events, which is pretty standard for CVC, there's nothing crazy going on there, but looking at all the champions being offered, day 1, which is today, they're focusing on arena champions, and I have them all, which is really odd for one. So obviously 3 of them, the middle 3 are fusions, but I do happen to have Harima. Wukong was free, at least at the time he was initially introduced, and yeah, I don't really need any of them. Obviously, I would take a duplicate copy of Harima, but if I had my preference, since I already have 1 copy, it would just be a faction guardian, not empowerment necessarily, at least in the short term. I'd rather maximize my chance of getting someone else from my wish list that I'll talk about in a second here. But even looking at the day 2 champions, it's kind of more of the same. You know, the best offering there is like Roto, Swallowmaster, Tharon, both of which I already have, so I just don't really need more duplicate copies. There wasn't anyone new, at least from my primary wish list, that I was looking for. So all that said, I'm not going to select a champion here, and we're just going to go in with a blank slate and see what we can get. So in terms of who I'm actually hoping will pop out of the shards, my top 5, and I do like to cover the top 5, but when we're guaranteed to get 2, for non-void legendaries are number 1, Glakecat of the Meltwater, number 2 is Molly Tankard, number 3 is Martyr, number 4 is Freya Fateweaver, and number 5 is still Eleanoril and Xavia. As you'd expect, we are going to get some epics along the way, so any and all duplicate epics for empowerment would also be useful. So without further ado, let's dive right into the shard pulls. We got tons of space, we got tons of cash, and hopefully we get some pretty decent luck. I'd like to see at least one of the champions from my top 5, but of course there's no guarantee here. So 4 sacreds into Mercy, and we're starting it off with an epic with Skull Crusher. I guess we're gonna get some CVC points as well. I don't usually pull any shards during CVC, but this is a extenuating circumstance, so to speak. But yep, notable for, of course, the AoE counter attack on everyone but himself. So great in the early game if you're trying to get started with Demon Lord Clan Boss. He's a really great way to maximize or increase your damage. And then of course he comes in useful in the end game in the Cursed City for any hard or any Fire Knight variations. Counterattacks obviously useful. Sacred number 2 is going to be Armina, the slightly better than War Maiden debuffer for Barbarians, AoE decreased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. She has some synergy with her passive with being able to stun every time, or get some turn meter whenever people are stunned and stuff like that. So she can kind of help, or she can kind of work with other stun champions like Silver Drakes and stuff like that, but she's not that great. You're probably better off running a War Maiden, which is kind of a knock on her capability. I've yet to build her on my account. Terror Beast, really not that great. He's more annoying as an enemy combatant because of course he does have the reflect damage, which will just murder your nukers when you go into Ice Golem normal and stuff like that. But when he's on your team, he doesn't really do all that much. He does synergize with Packmaster Shack, but he's not that he's not the best beast, especially now with Crocad in the game. Sacred number 4 is Both the Rancid, who is pretty decent, I believe, for the Nether Spider. So you have heal reduction on the A1, which is great for that fight because, of course, he heals if you attack the minions. And then he also has decreased accuracy, so you can take, well, actually, maybe that doesn't work against the poisons. But you can also do a mini cleanse here, remove 2 debuffs from all allies and heal them by 10%. And then most importantly here, just on the passive, you just take 50% less damage from poison. So once again, he's great for the Nether Spider. Sacred number 5. We are just going all in here. Again, I predicted. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got it. Ooh, number 1 is Herndig. So we'll take that. That is a duplicate for me, but hey, we'll take it. Faction Guardian. And the second one is a Growhawk the Bloodied. Unfortunate. I do think that is new. I'll have to double check. But yeah, that's not exactly what we were looking for. We did not get anyone from the wish list, but that's not too bad. Hey, 5 sacreds. I guess that's 9 total into Mercy, which is not that bad. So that's within the realm of reasonable, shall we say. But let's start with the less interesting champion, that being Grohawk the Bloody. Does he have a speed? No, speed in dungeons. I thought it was a speed in all battles. That's not a great start. But yeah, he has a single target attack here that will steal the target's turn meter and place a weaken if it's critical. Meh. On a 4-turn cooldown, by the way. You have an AoE attack here that each critical hit will fill his turn meter by 20%. So maybe you can kind of go, get an effective extra turn with this ability if you crit enough in the enemies, and then you also have a turn meter still heal. So he can take a lot of turns really quickly, but I don't think his damage is up to snuff. And then on the A1, attacks 2 times at random, which is very odd for an A1, but he can place decreased speed with a really piss poor land rate. So yeah, very underwhelming champion. I do think he is new on my account. We'll check the index to see if that's true. But on the flip side, Herndog, my man, my dude, one of my favorite, if not my most favorite, like AoE, wave nuker type champion in the game, because he's just so fun to use. So he is really, really excellent. On the A3 here, you have I guess the same thing or a similar thing to Grohawk, but you have a fully deplete the target's turn meter, attacks an enemy, but as long as it's critical, you also get an AoE attack, and that includes the initial target that you hit initially. So you hit the target, the person you target twice, and then you hit everyone else with an AoE. You place weaken, and then you can also place HP burn after the attack on enemies whose turn meter is below 30%. So it's hard to make that happen, but when it does happen, it's nice, and obviously it should happen on your primary target because you reduce their turn meter to 0. On the A2, we have an AoE attack that's decreased defense and decreased accuracy on a 3-turn cooldown. Very, very solid ability. This is on a 4-turn cooldown when booked, but effectively they're on 2 separate abilities, but he is a decreased defense and a weakened champion, hence why I do tend to like him for wave clearing content. But most importantly, it's the A1 that kind of seals the deal here. Attacks from enemy, grants extra turn, and decreases the cooldown of his A3 by 2 turns if he kills an enemy. So essentially, if you kill someone, it will reset the cooldown of your A3, meaning you can cycle back through it, deplete some turn meter, place more weakens, potentially more burns, and synergize well going back into the A2 and the A1, etc. So he is literally one of the best champions DPSs for the Dark Fae fight, and that is primarily where I use him on my account, alongside using him just as a general wave DPS. But no matter what skill is available, as long as your team is squishy enough, he can use whatever he wants at the initial point of the fight, and then he can either kill a mirror copy with the A1, get an extra turn, go into the A3 or the A2, depending on which one is off cooldown first. Or you could elect to optimize his AI override such that one of his AoEs are available to kill the mirror copies once you get to wave 3. But again, it's not really that necessary. I think in my team, I have him set up to always start the fight with the A1. So he runs in, he kills one of the mirror copies, whoever the squishiest is with the A1 gets an extra turn. No matter where he was from the previous waves, because I let everything be on, he's guaranteed to reset the A3, and then he can use that to kill all the other mirror copies and start off the fight against the Dark Fae. So yeah, definitely happy about this. It's not exactly who we were looking for, but I'll take Faction Guardians at this point, and I believe, yeah, we did get the red dot here in the index. So this is a new orc on my account. So Grohawk the Bloodied is a new champion, new legendary on my account. But I think the most important, or the more important aspect here, is the Faction Guardian for the dwarves, which are in dire need of more help. So there we go. We get 30 accuracy and 30 resistance for the dwarves. So hey, that helps my Herndog do his thing in Dark Fae. In fact, we can highlight the build really quickly because you just got a little bit of extra stats here. But my Herndog is in Savage and Perception. So there you go. That's his build at the moment. And we get the extra bonus stats here, the 30 accuracy. So we'll take it. He's pretty fast, pretty good crit damage, full crit rate, 5k on the attack. And now 400 on the accuracy, so a bit overkill for Dark Fae. But Doom Tower hard mode, you need 350 plus on the accuracy. But yeah, super happy about that. A bunch of extra stats. In fact, let me double check that. Let me see who else the extra accuracy is going to be useful for. Resistance for Brogni, that's good. Accuracy for Trunda. I've used her a little bit in hard mode Faction Wars as far as the AoE stun and the burn potential. Extra accuracy for Newt, extra accuracy for Tormund, that's pretty big too. So yeah, not bad overall. Still wish that I had Molly Tankard, I'm not gonna lie, we got the wrong dwarf, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. So there you have it, that's gonna do it for today's shard pull session. 5 sacreds is all that we needed to proc the double legendary, and we're able to get at least one new champion and one faction Faction Guardian. Let me know in the comment section down below if you were also pulling during this Sacred Pogo, and of course let me know if you got any amazing legendaries from your double proc. As always, if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel, and also feel free to hit the subscribe button down below if you are enjoying the content overall on this channel for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching and have a good one.